there are also striking differences in the forms of worship and belief. At this mosque in the Iranian city of Qum, young men invoke the name of Imam Ali, the martyred son-in-law of the Prophet, who they believe receives their prayers and intercedes with God on their behalf. Other Muslims dismiss such practices as saint worship and blasphemy. In this Turkish mosque, a depiction of Imam Ali, martyred founder of the Shia community, presides over a gathering of devotees who spread a message of peace and harmony between Christian, Muslim, and Jew. Here, men and women worship side by side, sometimes singing and dancing. Other followers of the same Quran consider this form of worship and the pictorial representation of Ali sacrilege. In another mosque in the same city, women are considered a distraction and are screened from view. In some mosques, they are entirely excluded. Whether prayer is private or communal, the idea that everyone has a direct personal relationship with God is at the heart of the message of the Quran and Sunni Muslim belief. About 85% of Muslims worldwide are Sunnis, and roughly 10 to 15% are Shia. The God that Sunnis worship may not be described in human language, nor represented in any art form, for that would be idolatry. Yet sometimes the human heart yearns for a faith you can touch and feel, for drama, for music, for ceremony, for great stories of sacrifice, pain, martyrdom, and redemption. And for someone to pray to who has human form. Shia Islam answers these needs, and here in Iran, they're almost entirely Shia. In this holy city of Qum, a symbolic commemoration of the murder of Ali, son-in-law of the Prophet. The Shia believe that Ali and his descendants, the Imams, were chosen by God to lead the Muslim community. But down the generations, one Imam after another was murdered. The Iranian city of Mashhad is built around the magnificent shrine to Imam al-Reza, the 8th Imam who was poisoned in the year 818. As they cross the street, people pause to honor the sacred memory of this departed saint. Shia pilgrims come to Mashhad from all over the world with gifts and donations, and to pray to Imam al-Reza in the same way that Roman Catholics and Orthodox Christians pray to their saints for help, guidance, and miracles of healing. Shia sentiments like these frequently enrage the Sunni.
When Muslims pray at the tombs of departed saints, they are compromising the strict tenet of Islam. The Quran says clearly it's a sin, because this Imam Reza, he was a great man, but he's dead. The dead cannot help you. Only God is ever living.
I don't say that I go to Imam Reza so that he can solve my problem. I say that I have a request for God, but my position is not high enough. I put Imam Reza as the intermediary, so that he who is very dear to God asks him to have mercy on me.
The Grand Ayatollah speaks from his private office in the heart of the Iranian city of Qum. Here especially, one gets a sense of how the differences between Shia and Sunni echo the Catholic-Protestant divide. Besides the veneration of saints, with its grand ayatollahs, its lesser ayatollahs, its jurisconsuls and mullahs, its mosques and seminaries, the holy city of Qum is, in so many respects, a Shia Vatican.
The Quran is totally against any kind of priesthood. In chapter 9, verse 31, it says quite categorically, talking about the Jews and the Christians, that one of their problems was that they'd taken their rabbis, their monks, their priests as lords besides God. We do not require intermediaries. There's no need for an intercessor. You and I have the absolute right to pray and to connect with the divine.
Sunni and Shia, both claiming a divine right to lead the Muslim community, are fundamentally divided in their relationship with God and the Quran. The cause of 1,500 years of bloody conflict, where the minority Shia have been the underdogs. These boys are weeping for Ali, the martyred founder of their faith, and for a long history of massacres in which the Shia have died in the thousands at the hands of the dominant Sunni. And yet, there is one important movement that rises above these divisions, embracing followers from both traditions, the Sufis. Hundreds of millions of Muslims are Sufis who believe that the Quran speaks directly to their hearts.
Quran is so simple. God didn't make it very complicated. It's your daily life stories. You don't need scholars to understand it. Look at the Indian people from India. They don't speak Arabic. Look at the Turkish people. They don't speak Arabic. The Persian, they don't speak Arabic. They memorized the Quran. As soon as they memorized and they understood it, it entered to the heart without translation.
Like the Sunni, the Sufis believe that their relationship with God is also direct. But above all, it is a relationship of all-consuming love.
You say Allah, it just brings you that feeling, that's passion, love. You are connected with the one you love. You have to carve God's name in your heart, like you carve on stones. But you can't carve God's name on your heart by chisels and hammer. You carve it by repeating the name, always repeating the name. So when you say Allah, it has to come from the heart, deep. It's not just word comes out of the mouth.
Among the Mevlevi Sufis here in Istanbul, that passion, that love for the divine is expressed through music and dance. It's a 700-year-old ritual heavy with symbolism. Black cloaks representing the grave, high brown caps the tombstone. And the dance itself quickening and quickening. A mystical journey of love deepening and the ego vanishing as the devotee comes closer and closer to the divine. There are Sufis who believe that this dance is represented in the Quran by the swirling patterns worked into so many early versions of the text, and is directly connected to the central ritual of Islam, the mass circulation around the holy Kaaba in Mecca.